All right. So to that point, I take the liberty in preparation of this show today to read the article that was on the Athletic, and one of the comments that Charles Barkley made was that if he says 9 great things about a player, he never hears from the player or their agent. The one time he makes a criticism, he says he hears about it. Okay. All right. So I want you all to take that in consideration because I know that's kind of going to lead into our next topic of are the players too soft, but also um, can what Barkley and Shaq be do? Can what Barkley and Shaq are doing in terms of criticism, just them being can it be determined as them being good stewards of the game because they care about the NBA. You know what I mean? It's their livelihood. It's been their livelihood for over 20 years. So are they trying to preserve the game or make it better by challenging the next set of great players to come on? So what do you all think about that? Or step up their game?
Um, I'm not sure. I'm not sure what they're trying to actually do other than report how they feel. Really, they're just talking basketball, how they feel. Like Shaq, as Shaq said a lot of times, you know, if you don't know about him, go Google him. So he's not really trying to, you know, get any underlining, you know, things out there. He's just trying to tell you how he feels. Like he thinks Donovan Mitchell is not good enough to win a title. That's just how he feels.
But is
And
that okay? All right. What you think, Mark?
We gonna see this year, but I think this might be the. I don't know, man. I actually disagree with Barkley. I actually disagree with some of his comments as far as like Donovan Mitchell plays against his team. Cause I could when no, I seen some of that last year. I think he took a little bit. He took over so much that his team wasn't involved at all. To where like when he needed his team, they weren't ready. So I do see that with Barkley having commented on that. But at the same time, man, you need your goat, you need your killer to kill. So the role players just gonna have to stay in tune, man. Just gonna have to. And that Mike Conley being healthy though is a big part too, because I believe with Mike Conley being there, all that is pretty much taken care of. He gonna make sure Donovan kill. He gonna make sure these other boys eat like by Donovich and Joe Ingles.
Okay, now I bring that point up because it's twofold. Okay, so remember last year when Shaq and Charles Barkley called out Joel Embiid, and then the next game Joel Embiid went and had like 40, right? And I think Brett Brown got himself fired after that game. His
Brett
statement
Brown should
was,
have been fired.
but wait, remember what his statement was? His statement was that maybe we need to get Shaq and Kenny to bash
You got 3 more.
Joel Embiid to play like this more often, right? Now, fast forward, he's fired, he's out. They bring in Doc. Joel Embiid is having a career year, right? So maybe it is those younger play. I'm sorry, those older players
I don't see it.
trying to push the buttons of the younger players to try to propel them to greatness. And I bring that up because, you know, God rest his soul. Do you all remember when Kobe Bryant made the statement to James Harden and he said, you know, James Harden's style of play would never win an NBA championship, you know?
Agree, and I agree with that until this year.
Right. But remember, that was what he was saying. Like, hey, you know, the numbers are good because it was the interview that he had with T Mac. I don't know if you all saw the Kobe and T Mac interview when they was at the Mamba Academy. But he said, like, hey, James Harden's style of play is great, but it's not going to win a championship because it's too much score first, right? James Harden,
Too
he didn't
ball
like,
dominant, really. It was too ball
yeah,
dominant. It wasn't even really. You need that score first mentality. What he was doing, the way he was playing, but it was too ball dominant. That's what it was. You don't get your. If the only time I touch the ball is when you pass it to me, and the only time you pass, maybe 2, 3 times a quarter, I'm not gonna be in rhythm. And that's
right,
basically what Houston was doing. Houston was giving the ball to James Harden. He was pounding that thing sometimes 20 seconds before he took a shot. So I'm like,
right, right.
well,
But how is it? I guess my question is, how can Kobe say it and it kind of be looked at one way, but when Shaq and Barkley say things that are similar, because pretty much if you just strip all of who says it away, what Shaq said about Donovan Mitchell is exactly what Harden said to Kobe. I mean, Kobe said to Harden, and we're not looking at one as a hater, and we're not looking at the other. We're looking at the other is. So can you all chime in on that? Because then it goes back to older players still being critical of how younger players are playing today's game.
Well, like I told you, man, I mean, I didn't look at it towards hey. I always looked at it towards like motivation, like how Shaq said it pretty much was. So that's pretty much how it was taken from me. So really, man, I just if a person takes it wrong, that's another reason why they do it too. Kind of like you remember how it was. You give them something like a gut check. See how you take this and see how you run with it. If you take it like that, then I ain't got nothing else to say to you. You know, I ain't got no more say so for you because I already know what you are.
Test your mental makeup.
Right, testing.
Yeah.
But it's
What
only
you got,
certain
Billy?
people I seen fail that test and still showing that they was a dog.
True.
I'm not sure because maybe it's who it's coming from because Kobe is viewed as, Jordan.
Yeah.
He's viewed as someone like Jordan, and Shaq is not viewed in that light as Kobe is. As good as Shaq was, as good as he was with Kobe, he would never be a greater player than Kobe Bryant, and that's just different. If it's coming from Jordan or Kobe, or Magic or Bird, I think is gonna hit differently.
Right. You gotta remember what Shaq is too, man. This is the same person. This same person who made a rap about Alonzo Mourning and Christian Laettner after he got drafted. I mean, after he was mad after they got drafted above him, something like that. He was mad though, man. I just remember Shaq always talking to my people, as far as like always throwing shots at folks. Like he was throwing shots at Dame Lillard, like.
Yeah, Shaq,
but when you got that reputation of just throwing shots at people, man, people ain't really hearing your constructive criticism.
I want to go a little bit deeper, y'all, and it's gonna move into our next segment. So I know we've been on this one pretty good, so I'll move on after. But I think what B. Lee just said clicked for me. I brought up the Joel Embiid scenario with Shaq and Charles Barkley. He responded and went out and played more motivated. Joel Embiid took it because they probably play the same position, a low post, right?
I mean, Barkley's from Philly. Don't forget, Barkley a Philly legend.
Thank you, but think about
that's
something.
Why he took it like that.
Think about something though. When Kobe or Mike says it, it's usually a criticism of other guards, and they're saying it like, "Oh, it's Regal." Could it be a connection with the playing the same position, right? If Donovan Mitchell looks at Shaq don't play the same game or way I play. So what do you know, right? But Joel Embiid takes the criticism and saying, okay, here's somebody that's done it before. What I'm attempting to do. You get what I'm saying? So,
and I understand where you're going with. I don't even really think it was that though, because I
that's
think
why. Okay, so let me move into
that's Joel Embiid fortitude though. Like you could say that's Joel Embiid. Like I could tell you can coach him like that. He's the type of player where you tell him you can't do something just so he could go out there and go do it. So it's just him. But and I just want to say one more other thing though. Like as far as Barkley not being taken serious, it's very, very easy to understand why he is looked at as a hater, especially when he talks to other cats about winning. He ain't won.
Right. No,
and he has a history of being critical of people. So his history to say something, yeah.
Let's settle it with Marky Mark and B. Lee. I'm your host, AG. Subscribe on YouTube. Like us on Facebook. Follow us on Instagram and Twitter for your great sports debate. We not only chronicle the GOAT debate, MJ or LeBron, but we are talking sports and lots of NBA hoops. Follow us for our weekly show where you can tune in and learn about what's going down in the NBA.